man, it's hard to say. I want to get into that. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, getting into a relationship for a man is like you're playing much. It's just a long game of Russian roulette. And at some point, bam, you feel me? But the reason why I had to stop right there was because just the scenario that these people are using, I'm like, I don't know who this person is. The fact that I don't know who you are lets me know the likelihood if you I'm trying is that who is that? Matter of fact, is that she look kind of like that reporter. I mean, let me see something real quick. All right, okay. Anyway, this is from tonight's conversation. But these scenarios, just in and of itself, are unhealthy. You know what I mean? Because what it does is, for the most part, it feeds into the mythology of black women, where black women are at the very top of the game. They're outpacing the men. You know, they're doing so much better. They're buying more house. The only stats that are actually correct and are accurate are stats about how much money y'all spent. You have more debt. Also, it's all over social media. Women talking about buying homes, and now the taxes and basically the cost for the home have gotten to be so great. On top of any possible repairs or emergencies, have gotten to be so great that they want to abandon the home. Cause that's the thing about purchases too. And that's another thing that's not really talked about with women is that when women be buying stuff like nice cars and whatnot, very few women can actually keep up with that. Actually, you know what? Hold on, man. Hold on. Now this video, fair use, got better not be hating. I need to make a point, okay? And again, I want to see y'all all do good, but in particular, I know that the men need to be put on game because you cannot accurately assess the situation and assess. Because, for example, listen, if you're a black guy, you're going to be out here dating these women, right? You have to be up to date on all the mythologies and all the fallacies. One of them is how wealthy black women are. Let's go ahead and just actually, we don't need to hit no more of that first clip. We need to hit no more of that first clip because again, it starts the conversation off from a disingenuous place. But another reason why people are comfortable with these kind of conversations is because for the most part, a part of I'm gonna keep talking to y'all about the consequences and the fallout of feminine leadership. So if the black community is mostly led by single parent households, right? You know what I'm saying? The government cheese households. I never had government cheese. I wanted to. I ain't heard nobody make a joke about making mac and cheese with government cheese in a long time. We didn't, black folks didn't elevate it. But before we move further, I'm gonna play the next clip and see what they're talking about. All right.
Let's work together. We can do all of that. But as far as my man, because this is the thing, I refuse to give into a life where I start to feel like I can't have it all.
That's where the insatiableness and the gluttony. Because if you already have it all, why do you need a man to give you more?
And this is the thing right here. If you want a woman who's gonna make sense halfway, more than likely she's gonna be this level of looks. Nothing's wrong with the lady and whatnot. She's just not particularly beautiful. The other woman, we don't even know if she's attractive. We know she's older, and she used to be very attractive. And again, she's not unattractive. I'm just saying in terms of if you put her next to a woman that's in her prime. If you put her, because that woman see that. All right. Whenever I see heavy makeup, I just assume that you deep in your 30s. Like you in that shit. You in your 30s. You know what I mean? That's what I assume when I see heavy makeup to the point. Or maybe she just light skinned. I don't know, right? But again, and that's another thing too. We can never forget. One of the reasons why women like having these conversations is because of the reaction, the torment, and the pain it causes men. Because men are like, oh, but you know, I only make my $48,000. You know what I'm saying? And you know, but he's not really thinking about the fact that nigga, she don't make no money. What's wrong with you? A lot of men have had to come to the realization, and this is I don't know, ladies, comes to the realization that y'all just lie. Y'all lie all day long. And one of the reasons why women lie and do way more evil things is because of feminine leadership. Because the thing is, everyone needs to be checked. One of the reasons why I have survived in the world by myself is because my father checked me. Even when he was wrong, it was kind of bugging and shit. My father checked me, and that taught me how to be able to deal with other people, right? And also be able to work things out, to hear people out, to understand the concept of people don't like that shit. A lot of people can't deal with it. A lot of black folks they cannot wrap their head around the concept of how to respect when people don't like some shit. All right, people like you, like a black person will be violating you, and then look at you like, I don't see what the problem is. That's a common behavior in the black community. You know what I mean? And we're gonna get more into that later with in terms of Drake and Kendrick and everything, right? In terms of because the reaction is, that this record is getting. Excuse me. What did I miss? Like I told y'all before. Whenever you are battling from start, sometimes when you're having your everyday interactions, you don't realize when somebody don't like you. You don't realize when somebody got an issue with you. You don't realize when someone is attacking you because they may do it through passive aggressive means. They may do it. They may do it through giving you a random critique, right? You know what I mean? Because if you critique someone, they put you in a position where you can't say, "Nah, I disagree with that." Because especially when you're an artist, for the most part, especially for black men cannot talk about how they really feel about shit. Because for the most part, what they have to deal with, oh, all right, well, you just being sensitive. Oh, all right, well, you know what I mean? So, that enemy, that kind of person will always be trying to convince you and other people that you are a version of yourself that can be dominated, a version of yourself that where you can lose to them, a version of you know what I'm saying? That's what they want to make you. And that's the way in which they attack you. And when they do that by discrediting you in front of other people, right? And taking positive things about yourself and making it seem as though they're negative things. I.e. black folks telling other black people, hey, you sound white. You're dressing white. Oh, you're trying to do better in life? Oh, do you think you're white? Oh, man, I want to live over here. This is where the white folks is at. I'm not going to be safe here. I'm going to be safer in the all-black neighborhood where, you know, they wear mismatched socks with Crocs. Just saying.
They don't know what's going on.
They never had my back.
He told me how much he wants to protect you.
They never had my back.
That shit ain't really, it's not as loud as it used to be. Either that or I'm losing my hearing. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I actually did comment on this too. And I had said, these conversations are like asking me, do I want to be the prime minister or the president of the United States? She makes $500K. These are such unrealistic scenarios. Men don't even stop to think about how many women make that much. And a more realistic number would be if she makes 70 to 80 and he's making 50. I gotta stop with this love and hip hop shit. And that's something. Before I move on to everything, right? Cause I wanted to show y'all these videos because I want to show you guys the image that's put out there. And the thing about lies is that you make it impossible for people to get better that way. It's not that black women cannot become a demographic that makes a lot of money. It's not that. It's not impossible. But a big part of why it's not going to happen is because you can't accept your position in this whole system. There is no success of any group in the world, any movement, no long-term success without male leadership. That's why it's important to support the men around you. Men and women need to support men because men gonna make your community move. We have the strength to do so. We have the will to do so. That's another thing too. They keep trying to convince you. Society tries to convince you that your only strength is in physical strength. And that's the only place you may outmatch it. No, you having a strong will. A man's will is far stronger than a woman's will. A woman can have a strong sense of vindictiveness. That's not will. Being vindictive will not make you successful. Will. I mean, and again, we're gonna be exploring that too. I've been thinking a lot about the importance of making sure your kids and the people around you inherit your will, your thought. If you say, you know what I'm saying, it's like so for example, like with my father. My father had the will to do better and go about success the way people went about it, which was a little bit at a time, that's how you become successful. Like with my channel, I know that once I'm at a certain point, I'm not going to stop being successful. I'm going to always be lit. You understand? I'm going to always be lit. Because I took so much time to build my audience. I took so much time to work on my product. So, and you know, men have to accept where the world is going. I was having a conversation about AI with my boy. I said, "Yo, listen, we cannot be those old people, those older people who are stuck in the conversation of should we be doing this rather than understanding which direction is the world most likely going, and what part of this can I control. The part you can't control is learning how to use that goddamn AI to your advantage and figuring stuff out." Because every generation has to deal with technology advancing, which in turn changes everything. Uber changed everything. Instacart changes everything. Now a person who's disabled, who can't leave the house, now they can have all the groceries they want. They can go on their phone and have it sent to their house. You just gotta hope that they don't live in a walk-up on the 10th floor talking about, "I want 6 cases of water." You bastard. You bastard.
He
My
don't
back.
know what's going on.
They never had my back.
He told me how much he wants to protect you.
They never had my back.
You never had my back, son. But this is what's really going on, man. So I came across this channel, right? And this is a channel that it's basically about people doing financial crimes. Now these videos are going. This is going to keep becoming content. And what's crazy is black women be going on and on about divesting. Fam, Brad has the same internet. Yo, I went to go look at the videos on this channel, and to see. Let me see how many black people pop up in. So so you do see a mixture, but like, yo, every time I look at a shoplifting video, someone stealing, it's always somebody. It's always a black woman. It's more in the rest about the cops for stealing especially from Target. Y'all love going to y'all stay cat. Yo, black women are Target and Walmart's #1 enemy. Matter of fact, I don't know, man. It might get to where like, yo, like y'all can't. That's what they listen. If now they don't care about us, but black men, what we need to be pushing for is the only way that a black woman will be allowed in Walmart and Target is if she has a marriage license and she'll be forced, or she can risk being carded, and she can be in Target having the time of her life and shit like that. She came in there with her bonnet on, because that's what lets people know that you are not married. You came into that Walmart or that Target with a bonnet and Crocs on. As soon as they see that shit, they just say, "Oh, ma'am, excuse me, have your attention. I'm going to need to see your marriage license." If black women could only get into Target and Walmart with a marriage license, I think that could put us back on track. You know what I mean? Listen, I have solutions. I got mad solutions. I always been trying to inspire y'all, always. But this is what's really going on. So check it out. So it says victim, the real card owner's on the line. So the real card owner just is calling this. I think they're calling the police department or whoever, either the police department or the dealership, and she's saying, "Hey, I have a charge for $1,500 on my car from this dealership, and I don't live in that state." And the person who's calling does not live in the state.
The suspect tries to play it smart, dodging questions, talking in circles.
Her whole body shape says this, untrustworthy. You know what I'm saying? Because those are criminal breasts. You know what I'm saying? When women fit too well into a white beater and whatnot, she probably would. Because I'm getting like, because you know that she good in tight spaces. You know what I'm saying? Fair use.
Thinking she's ahead. What she doesn't realize, she's the one getting played.
So before they get, first of all, she had got away from the dealership. She drove off already and everything, right? So she basically had paid the bill, or so she thought, or she whatever, right? And so this is basically becomes a theft of service, and I guess she gets pulled over by the cops because obviously she's not, either she's nearby or she's not actually. I don't think she's at the dealership. I could be wrong, right? But anywho, so the cops already have all this information. They have the names and everything. And what you're mostly going to see is them convincing her to come back to the dealership because, for one, she can't keep driving because now it's a theft of service because they have to get their money, because they're going to have to give that person back their $1,500 and refund it, because, again, that's not, you know what I mean? So, but I want you guys to see a little bit of the story. It's 26 minutes. We're not gonna play the entire thing. We're gonna just jump around. All right.
I see they had some fun.
Yeah. So what you tell me what's going on?
So we got credit card dispute for fraudulent charge on Friday
Okay.
for a customer whose car was actually in for service
Okay.
as of now.
Okay.
So I was working through that. Card owner claimed fraud. Names didn't match. That whole shebang. This morning she paid online, and it wasn't 5 minutes later we got a call from a lady in North Carolina saying, "Hey, you just hit my credit card for $1534.92 or whatever it was. I live in North Carolina, never been in Illinois, none of this jives." So I'm looking, the invoice dollar amount and the payment matched that invoice for that same client. So she was in June. That credit card got disputed as fraud.
So her car, okay. So she's essentially she's done this twice now where it's
This is the second time that's
It's
appears to
been-
be stolen credit cards.
credit cards to pay.
Oh, so shit, this is her second time doing this. So basically, what you're gonna find out is that her and her cousin done found a way to use someone else's information online. So we're gonna just jump forward and whatnot, right? Now mind you, so this is at the Benz dealership. This person now again, as a young man, you see, it's very common. You will see young women or black women in general driving these expensive cars. This is the reality of them having nice things. Okay, this is the reality of there's going to be, especially if she's younger, unless she's 35 plus in her 30s or has been in her profession for a good 5 to 6 years, and if she has a Mercedes or BMW or any kind of expensive car, it is the dumbest thing ever for a broke person to have any kind of car like this. I wasn't mad because I didn't understand cars back then. As I got older, I realized, Mom, why do you have a fucking BMW truck? When you have a nice car, you cannot skip the maintenance. All right, like I gotta get brake pads in that car soon. That car been good to me. Luckily, I don't drive that much, so you don't need brake pads every year. You need brake pads every year. I be forgetting that shit. Like, you need brake pads every year if you drive a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like really more every 2 years. If you drive on a regular basis, you know what I'm saying? If you don't drive a lot, every year and a half, every 2 years, you really don't need brake pads. It's just good to get brake pads for the wheels and shit. You understand? But anywho, I want to just fast forward to the whole confrontation.
But if he's not holding my car, I don't understand why y'all holding my car.
Right now, the best I can figure out is your car is registered to somebody who doesn't exist. Because I've met Skylar here. Skylar's driver's license that she provided when she paid for the car in the first place isn't coming back to anybody.
Okay.
So I have no idea who that is. So this is why I'm kind of asking you. You're pointing to people that I can't talk to.
I just have her on the phone.
I don't know who I'm talking to on the phone.
What you mean? I just.
She come here. She come to the police department and try to explain it.
So at this point, I believe they're back at the dealership, and she's trying to explain this. And you know what's funny about this whole thing is how nicely they get them a lot of room before they get like locked up and all this type of shit.
We want her to come all the way from Quincy. I mean, I will tell her to with that.
I'm not putting a payment plan. That's not how it applies.
What you mean? The car's been released.
Yeah, you have the car.
No. Hold on.
Right, 'cause he was
The car is done with its work. But right now, because of
So are you giving me my car?
right now, I'm pretty sure.
Now, mind you, this person, she knows that. All right, so basically, her cousin, her and her cousin, they're obviously using people's information online, and now she's paying the piper, right? This is the kind of girl that will put some lashes on and some makeup and be telling you that, yo, listen, if I'm making $500K and he making 70, I can't make it work. You know what I'm saying? Talking about standards, she probably got a few kids, everything. You understand? But this is what really be going on. It's either something like this, or she's not making no payments, or she's on her way to being repossessed. At best, she maintains the car, but she's barely doing it. She needs new tires. She needs new brake pads. Brake pads, oil changes for a BMW and for Mercedes is more expensive. Okay, it cost me $118 to change the oil on my damn car. I don't know why it costs that much, but it does. All right. Ain't all the money in the world, but I'm just saying, goddamn. You understand? Brake pads in my car cost more. If I need any serious repair, oh man, woo. Now Mercedes parts even crazier. You understand? Which that's one of the main reasons why it doesn't make sense for you to have a foreign car, because foreign car has more expensive parts. Unless you get a Lexus and they have cheap parts. And I'm saying, I believe the parts are still Camry parts. You can get a perfectly, you know what I mean, good similar car. But you'll see them in these kind of cars because a part of that is also because of the impact of social media and shows like the Real Housewives of Atlanta and Love and Hip Hop. You guys are seeing the direct impact that has had on the psyche of young women, where they think they need these things in order to be relevant or in order to be happy, but in all actuality, these material possessions ruin their lives. If she had a Toyota Camry, she would be able to afford to fix that car or get it serviced by herself without having to steal it. This is the future of life for single women. Okay, this is pretty much, this demographic is the most at risk right now for homelessness, jail time, all that. This is not going to slow down because these women are raising the kids. These they mothers. They mother thinks this kind of shit is okay. And again, this is a fallout of feminine leadership. When you grow up with someone, when you grow up with just your mother, you have a hard time dealing with the facts, especially when they don't suit you, especially when you feel bad. Because what happens is it becomes emotionally too much for you to deal with. Accountability becomes too much. That's why emotional regulation from your father is important, because it helps you to also be able to deal with situation. And you eventually kind of outgrow being super emotional during disagreements, you know what I'm saying? During the grievance, you know what I mean? During when you make a mistake. Like, you know, I had to realize, like, with my son, like, all right, he'll get really excited. And I have to tell him stuff like, you know, if he's messing up, I don't know, let's say he's sweeping the floor. He'll start, now mind you, he won't look at you all the time, but he'll look right at me in my eyes while he's sweeping if he thinks he's messing up. I'm like, babe, look at what you're doing. Don't worry about me. Look at what you're doing. You know what I mean? Because you need to focus on the task at hand before, you know what I mean, before you have more of an, you know what I mean? But not only that, you know, you have to be able to calm down and relax in order to process anything. That's the beginning of problem solving. I had to realize, you know what? I had to stop. I began living my life in worry. I began living my life and thinking like, damn, like, what if this happened? What if that happened? You know what I mean? And it's like, no, you can't live life that way. You know what I mean? Listen, bro, look, come on, man.
They don't know what's going on.
They never had my back.
But when it comes to threats, you
Come
gotta be
get
like,
me, baby.
I'm covered. No matter what happened, I figure it out. Because I have the will to keep pushing. But I want to get to another instance too. You know what I'm saying? Where this woman basically she basically is doing check fraud. And I want you to look at the mannerisms of these people, right? And again, the reason why this girl handled this so poorly was because of, again, feminine leadership. She didn't raise with her mother. Her mother got on baggy clothes and shit. And here she is. You know, the only reason why they had a hard time with her is because of that weight. If she was an appropriate weight, they'd have been able to get her out that chair. But this is what's going on. So basically, we're gonna play it. Fair use.
Miss Spain, can you come talk to me, please?
Okay, so she supposedly came in there about this check. So what I'm gathering is she deposited a huge fraudulent check in her account, and she wants to pretend that this is money from a settlement that she had, and she thought that was it, and then she came down to address it. So I'm assuming she spent some of the money, and you know she had no choice.
What's that right in there, if you don't mind?
And this is another reason why I got love for Big Shirley, but I gotta leave Big Shirley alone, bro. The way she arrogantly handles the way she handles this whole thing. What you about to see is one of the reasons why black men struggle to have relationships with black women, and why black women struggle to have friendships and relationships. Is because, you're gonna really see a complete disconnect from accountability with this woman. Okay, now mind you, she knows that she's done a crime, and she's coming there, and I get it. I get that she don't want to go to jail, right? But when it all goes down, I want you to see this whole breakdown. Fair
name
use.
has come up. It's case number 24-3117. It's a bank fraud.
Ooh, boy, I hate the sound of a number in the dash. Boy, somebody read you a dash, a case number. They go, what? What? No bad juju.
That's what I'm coming up here for.
You coming up here for some bank fraud stuff? Okay.
So okay. This is a way that women will try to hide the fact that they're an idiot, or that they're stupid, or they think they're women always think that they can hide who they are from you, and because in her mind, again, but listen, that's a part of being good at lying. You like George Costanza says, it's not a lie if you believe it. In her mind, right? She thinks that. In her mind, she thinks that I'm going to just maintain my frame, and I'm going to keep asserting myself, and you know what? And I'm going to say something else. I blame you weak ass Mitches for this, because it's a weak man somewhere who also tolerated the shit. She got a skinny boyfriend somewhere who be piping it down. Nigga, she bought him mad Jordans. She bought that nigga mad weed. All right, that nigga got a Hellcat. He got everything. Matter of fact, he got all the money probably. He got a Hellcat that he already crashed. You feel me? But anywho, but yeah, so she's coming in. First of all, she wore this to the bank to go have a serious conversation. She couldn't even put on a blouse. Sorry, excuse me. She couldn't even put on a blouse. So she thinks that she's going to intimidate these cops. And towards the end, you're going to also see the disconnect between reality. And because you got to realize that this may be a regular sane person, but because of her upbringing, because of the poor leadership, because I'm saying, you want to see her mama, who you know her mama ain't shit. You know her mama ain't shit. Goodness gracious. Check it out. Let it roll. Fair use.
All right. So before I ask you any questions, I have a form that I'd like you to sign. Miranda rights form. I just need to fill out some information on it, and then we'll get right into it. So we're at 2255 East Macon Street, Southwest Louisiana Credit Union. Also present is Miss Linda Sterling and Christina Davis. Y'all are bank employees. Chief lending officer, chief risk officer.
That's what I'm here to clarify. Come in the body, anything. I'm just not finding out about what's happening and what's going on with my account. That's somebody with me, right? Yeah, that's my mother. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my account as well. That I just left the well, sorry. Yeah, let's get a debit card. Yeah, I went to go get my debit card, but yeah, I was in my account and I'm looking.
Ma'am, you can step outside. Please step outside.
Her mother, listen. You see this shit? You see his outfit? You know her mama. You know her mama trouble. This is first of all, when you got a stud mama, I think she got a stud mommy. When you got a stud mama, you know they're problematic. Ain't no such thing as you having a stud mother and your life is together. Stud moms always got kids in the street in the worst situation. You know what I'm saying? The absolute worst situation. Goodness gracious.
I'm trying to figure out the same thing.
She's not, no matter. She has a legal situation. Her mother came in there like Kramer. She just opened that shit like they in a sitcom. Hey, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo. And what was crazy is also how ill-equipped both of them are to deal with the law. These is the moms. These who be raising your kid. Your girl is on some. Listen, to me, everything's a spectrum. I've been saying everything's a spectrum before Coach Greg, but shout out to Coach Greg. Everything is a spectrum. If you a black guy and you dating black women, she's on the spectrum for this kind of thinking. Okay. Not only that, also we already know in the community, black women and their daughters, the more dysfunctional they are, the more they're like partners in crime. You know what I mean? Like, she popped up as if, anywho.
If you interfere in my investigation, I will place you under arrest. Please step outside.
That man said, if you interfere with my investigation, now mind you, he has authority. And you'll see them both over talk him. Not only that, look at how patient the white man is very patient. And they cut this down. This has been edited down. White man's been very patient. He's very patient before this shit starts going left.
She's an adult.
Okay, but you don't have to disrespect my mama either.
Ma'am.
And you don't have to, and I'm gonna tell you, you don't have to disrespect my mom either.
I'm
Yo, she just punked him. Like she think that this is really a hood booger. You know what chick is a hood rat? That where ain't no one in their family about shit when they think they could talk to. Not only that, you talking to law enforcement. You're under investigation talking greasy. You would think she had proof. All right, and this is what men. This is another reason why men can't have relationships is because these people seem really believable. See how believable she seems? Like you would think that basically they're tripping. They're tripping and she ain't did nothing. Check it out.
Because I had did a flash loan or something like that. Yeah.
A payday loan.
And so I was like, well, my debit card got lost. So I was like, I needed a debit card. So I told them that I would be coming up there to get another one. So that's what I went to do. And then that's when she told me that I needed to speak with someone from the risk department. So then I came here. So that's what I'm saying. If I wanted to do anything fraud, why would I walk in here myself? That's the point. So that's what I was here to clear up. I'm trying to figure out which risk or whatever is going on and what happened. Something about a $50,000 check was deposited into my account that I did not deposit. I didn't sign off on anything. No, nothing. That's what I'm here for. I remember a lady calling me. That's what I'm saying. And I have a settlement or whatever that's going on right now. That's what I thought it was until I checked. I'm like, this is not what I'm waiting for. Yes, this is not what I'm waiting for. And my cousin had deposited a check into my account. That's what I'm saying. It was not me.
All right, Ms. Bain, I have this form.
She done told two different lies. First, you got a settlement. So you saying that you expected a settlement for an amount greater than $50,000 or whatever they said, right? Then it's your cousin is going to deposit a check. First of all, if your cousin got over $50,000, why do they have to deposit a check of that amount into your account? Fam, come on, man.
Can you make sure?
I'm not signing nothing until I see everything that you have
Go
going
ahead
on.
and stand.
She is demanding to see the evidence. Yo.
Stand up. Go ahead and stand up. What form, please?
Stand up from what? I just
Now he spends the next 5 minutes trying to arrest her.
want to see what's going on first. I don't want to be arrested for something that I don't even know anything about. That's why I'm here.
Look, I tried to get a statement from you.
I'm giving you a statement, but
No,
I want to
no,
know
you just said you're not signing anything.
Fair use.
So I can't ask you any questions. No, ma'am. You go ahead and stand up.
I don't want to be arrested.
He already made it clear that you are in trouble. Ma'am, you are in trouble. Not only that, you have been rude and difficult the entire time, ma'am. Oh my goodness gracious. He spends about 5 minutes trying to arrest her. All right? Check it out. Check it out. Check it out.
Police officer and resisting arrest, force or violence.
Now, mind you, the little girl. Oh, listen. The girl always comes out. Men need to understand, because black men, y'all be believing women. Y'all really be believing all this tough shit. They all, listen, when I look in your eyes, I can always see that little girl. If I look in a woman's eyes, because the thing is, you know why? Because her will not stronger than mine. She not tougher than me. Don't ever let no woman think she tougher than you. Because she going to treat you, she going to try to, that's woman's nature to try to punk you, bro. that's just what you know what I'm saying? That's just her nature. But anyway, with this story also again, it furthers the point of black women wanting black men to think that they out here getting it. And that they live their life of luxury. And the thing is that I don't realize that when other women hear y'all talk like that and hear y'all talk this way, you drive them to think that I need to have these expensive things to keep up, to be happy. And it's not that you can't have a house in the hills, you can't have a Mercedes, but yo, this shit take time. I had to learn the hard way, like, yo, shit take time. And not that I experienced no crazy success, but it would have been better for me to experience making an extra 20, 30K a year. You know what I'm saying? Which would have still been very, very good, and made that money consistently for 3 or 4 years, and then left my job. But I'm glad that things went how it went, because like, yo, like, shit, I'm good. This only has to be mildly successful for a long period of time for me to have my retirement and have my disposable income and be, living good. And I'm telling you right now, 6-pack TV, 6-pack t-shirts, 6-pack lube, Six Packs Kids, Six Packs Cheeseburgers. What's up? Legacy. You know what I'm saying? Legacy, legacy, legacy.
You're under arrest for attempted bank fraud, so go
I
ahead
didn't
and
do
plead
no
down.
attempted bank fraud. I didn't do anything.
I have the probable cause, Miss Spain.
Good
Go ahead and
probable
stand
cause.
before me.
She is screaming at the police. It is common knowledge you cannot fight the cops. No one has ever said you have in the history of niggas. No one has ever gotten out of an investigation by simply just yelling. Real talk, but in the hood, this is how hood chicks do things. They think that when they have an altercation, they can just black the fuck out and because what happens sometimes if the stakes are low, people will let it go. People may back down or whatever, or that person will feel like, you know what? Last time I saw you, you wilded out. You know what I mean? And what this does, this is kind of behavior. People will let this go because they get to where they don't want to deal with the stress of you. But what happens is that person goes throughout life feeling like, yo, this is what I can do. And I told y'all I was going to show y'all these K-Dot fans. It's a K-Dot fan that helped her do this whole thing. Okay? I'm sorry. We got to address this real quick. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that I'm perfect or I'm the best dressed dude ever, right? But my nigga, listen. I noticed a commonality with niggas who really be trying to support this nigga, all right? Or who was anti-Drake. And I didn't pick up on it or understand it, so I got older. Men who dry women up, you know, make them go. Men who dry women up, in particular, they like the idea of Drake losing to Kendrick, or Drake being down. Fan, Drake's numbers have not slipped one bit for the last year, and I constantly see posts on Twitter talking about basically this is the end. This, you know, people don't want to hear that no more. I'm like, and that's why Kendrick music is ass. His music sucks, bro. It's not exciting whatsoever. It's not. It doesn't demonstrate that I know what sound. A part of good music is, first of all, before rap, good music was graded on, did this shit sound good? Was the instruments played well? Is it a good singer? Is it a good song? Do I enjoy it? You breaking down the lyrics and appreciation of lyrics come later. Period. Because if that's the case, then Dead Prez should be the biggest artist. Then that means that black people love Dead Prez. Y'all niggas love Slum Village. Huh? That means you niggas love Talib Kweli. You love Logic. You love the Lupe Fiasco should be the biggest artist. That means that you all secretly love Lupe Fiasco, because these are all niggas who so-called rap or do rapidy rap. But it's not about that. It's just about you don't want someone around. It's the same reason why niggas don't when niggas with six packs take their shirts off. Keeping it stacked with you. No, but you know, you feel like, what are you doing that for? Because the nigga with the six pack is going to make you self-conscious about where you are with your shit. You understand? And that's what it's always going to be when you're around lesser vessels, when you're around people who don't have ambition. That's why niggas hated Jay. Niggas hated Jay because Jay made niggas have to improve. Niggas had to get their bag together. Niggas had to get a nicer car. I mean, for better or worse. I mean, but you had to be better. All right. Jay was one of niggas coming into the game. He wasn't filthy rich, but he already had a nice car. He already had a little bit of money. Now they might have been faking the funk a little bit, but yo, they was buying bottles of Cristal and buying expensive liquor in the clubs and whatnot, and that's how they promoted. All right, they would come through and spend a bunch of money in the club, and people would be like, "Yo, who was this dude?" And what that did was help them. But that's how you build relationships. You understand? You build relationships by getting the attention of the movers and shakers and getting the attention of powerful people. They always respect you being willing to invest in your image. Oh yeah, nigga, that weight starting to come down. Yeah, buddy. Starting to be able to see the muscles in my neck again. I don't know why I've been so bloated. But all right, man, take a quick break. Anyway, so back to these Drake fans, right? So a Drake fan does pop up at the end of this video with the young lady who basically is doing bank fraud. and she wants to act like she ain't doing baked fraud. But that's also characteristic of a Kendrick Lamar fan. You saw the gaslighting, the arrogance. You know what I'm saying? All the sign language was on Super Saiyan sign language. Her hair was turning gold. Do you understand? You see her face? She is yelling at the police officer. Now he's arresting her because he's trying to get her to cooperate and give a statement. She wasn't under arrest yet, but she said, "I'm not going to give."